Welcome back. Today we will again learn some properties of matter, but it's not physical or chemical. Today we are learning about intensive and extensive properties. So, what is intensive property? Intensive properties means a property that is independent of the amount of substance taken. Some examples are density, boiling point, color, odor, and flammability. These properties do not change if you take a small quantity or big quantity. So one way to remember is independent of amount of substance. Independent starts with the I. Intensive starts with the I. So independent of the amount of substance is intensive property. And also, intensive properties are determined by the chemical composition of the particles and their structure and how they arranged. Intensive means internal. So I and I, just remember it. So here you can see the different forms of carbon. This one is arranged in a different way as you can see from this one. This is layers, you can see hexagonal layers. This is called tetrahedral arrangement. Depends on that. This is diamond and this is graphite. So it depends on the arrangement. You already know the diamond, the properties of diamond is different from the properties of graphite. Even though they are the same material made of carbon, but the arrangement makes the difference. So the the hardness of diamond is different from hardness of graphite. So that is an intensive property. Hardness is an intensive property. So if you take a small piece of diamond or if you take a big piece of diamond, the hardness of diamond will be same. Whereas extensive property depends on the amount of substance taken. For example, the volume of a substance depends on how much is taken. 10 milliliters of water is different from 10 liters of water in terms of volume. Similarly, 10 grams of iron is different from 10 kilograms of iron in terms of its mass. So mass and volume are examples of extensive properties. So the mass depends on how much you are taking here. But the hardness of a substance remains same. So hardness will be an intensive property because it's independent of how much you are taking. For example, look at the iron nails here. If you take a bigger nail or a smaller nail of the same material, if it is made of iron, the hardness of that material will be same. So that is an intensive property. Similar to that, density of water. Density of water is not going to change if it is 1 liter of water or if it is 10 liters of water. The density of water for pure water is always 1 grams per milliliters. Thus, intensive properties can be used to identify a substance. It is unique to that substance. Say for example again, boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius for pure water. So if you know for a substance it is boiling at 100 degrees Celsius, you can identify that substance as pure water. So now compare intensive and extensive properties in a Venn diagram. Once you are done, check your understanding. At this point, I hope you are ready to check your understanding on intensive and extensive properties. Go ahead and try these properties and check your answer. If you are ready, you can check the answer. So density is an intensive property. It does not depend on how much you are taking. 1 ml of water, 10 ml of water, 100 ml of water, 1 liter of water. It will have the same boiling point if it is pure. At 100 degrees centigrade, it will boil. So it is an intensive property. Specific heat is also an intensive property. It is the amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of substance through 1 degree Celsius. So it will remain same. It doesn't matter if you're taking a little bit or a huge quantity. Now boiling point. It's again intensive property. It does not depend on how much you are taking. Volume is an extensive property. It depends on how much you are taking. If you are taking 1 glass or 10 glass, the volume will be different. Mass is an extensive property. It depends on how much you are taking. Okay, and now we can try more examples by taking another quiz. Thank you.